Energize. 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 All
cisgender.
All system.
So be it, fool.
Oh, that's prescient to today's episode.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So be it. So be it. So be it, fool.
So be it, fools indeed. Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Next Generation recap and rewatch podcast. I'm Adam. I'm here with...
Hey everybody, it's Hirt here. What's going on?
Mr. Al, what is going on, dude? 100 degrees? Did you see that it was 100 fucking degrees when you drove over to the studio today?
100.
100. It said 100 degrees in the car, and I was like, I don't know. It's just fucking die, you know? It's just fucking... I don't know. So yeah, we're back after I was mad that we had to take we hadn't taken any breaks, any unexpected breaks.
Yeah.
And since season 2, I think.
I know.
But I got the fucking COVID because I guess the Federation starship that was tasked with bringing us the COVID vaccine, they got distracted by a fucking queue or something.
Yeah.
And it sucked shit. Worst 56 hours of vacation time I've ever burned at my fucking day job. What a horrible thing.
Crazy.
And the added benefit of with COVID with me is I get incredibly sick for months afterwards. I get a severe depression, which I read today is like a real thing. Like it makes my antidepressant stop working because like your brain fucking chemistry changes because of the virus. It happened the same way when I had it in 2022. I had like 3 months of like working with my doctor and like trying to like up my doses of my fucking SSRI and shit. And then eventually it started working, and then I got in therapy for 2 years, and I was finally starting to feel better. And then I got COVID, and I feel like fucking shit again. It's like I'm completely unmedicated.
Wow.
Thanks a lot, Joe Biden, you old bastard. You owe me $600, motherfucker. All right. So that's where we were at.
Yes.
That's why you didn't get this great episode last week.
We were caught up with that.
But now we're caught up. How are you doing, man? I was out for a week.
Man.
What are you up to?
Just enjoying the national parks before shit hits the fan. I went to Sequoia Park.
You went to Sequoia Park this last weekend?
Yeah. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was cool. We saw the world's tallest tree. And then I was like, whoa, world's tallest tree? And then we went to the information center, I don't know, for trails and shit. Then I overheard one of the visitor ladies was like, or one of the park rangers was like, hey, by the way, people say tallest tree, but it's like technically it has the widest trunk in the world, so it's like the thickest tree. It's like
but
it has
it's
the
not
most
tallest?
volume. Yeah, and I was about to say,
so
well, why do you say the
girthy.
tallest? Yeah, I would just say the world's thickest tree.
I think what they mean,
the girthiest tree.
What they
And
mean
she's like,
is
there's
it's
taller ones, but they're skinnier.
What they
And I'm
mean
like,
is it's it's the biggest tree.
Right.
They mean it's the heaviest fucking tree.
But it's
but it's not very tall.
Yeah, it's a very little asterisk moment, but it was pretty cool.
Cool.
And to see trees there for thousands, that have been there for thousands of years, is like trippy.
Did you get to do the thing where you drive through a tree?
Oh no, we did not. Actually,
there's one place where the tree's got a hole in it, and it's a living tree that's over the road, and you fucking drive through it.
No, I'm definitely gonna have to run it back.
Yeah, man. Well,
camping is great.
We got to be careful because it's wildfire time again.
Yes,
my wildfire app is popping off all the time saying, hey, there's a fucking fire somewhere. And then it's like, it's fine.
Up north.
And they say it's fine. There's one on Burbank up north.
Really?
There's one on fucking Burbank when we had COVID. Dude, there's been fires all over the valley the last couple weeks. They're just,
in the valley.
They just pop up for less than an hour, and they knock them down. So the Fire Watch app is going off and it's just like, hey, there's a fire. Then it's like 30 minutes later, it's like forward progress has stopped at an acre. It's like,
God.
how about you let it get more than an acre before you
Jeez.
fucking make me think that there's a fucking fire, dude. Yeah, so interesting living in California. You have to have your fire app.
Fire season.
And it seems like fire season kind of went all year this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, anyways, back to the podcast.
no,
here.
that's cool. This is the new opening of the podcast.
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
catch
We're
up.
just
We're gonna
gonna
be
catch
more.
up.
We're gonna
Wing it.
be more human. You know, and I do have severe brain fog, so this is gonna be this is gonna be fun. And which brings us to our first segment of the day.
Speaking of brain fog.
What does Al remember? What do you remember from episode 128 of our podcast? What did we cover? What episode? Come on.
Not that I don't remember the title at all, but
It's
I
okay.
remember what happened.
Do you remember a TV show where robots fight each other?
Robots fight each other?
BattleBots.
Oh, BattleBots.
The episode title is The Battle.
Oh,
I was
just
trying to
The
get you
Battle.
there. I was trying to
Gotcha.
get you there, but yeah.
Ah, that makes sense. 'Cause
Okay, so-
it's about what is it? Ferengi uses a PTSD machine on Picard
Yes.
and gets him to take over his older ship during that traumatic event and then attack the Enterprise for about 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then Riker's like, Picard, come back to us. Damn it. Shoot the orb.
Yeah.
And then he shoots the orb, which is the PTSD machine.
Yeah, the
And
the Vietnam simulator.
It's so weird. I don't know. There's a lot of, I guess, allegories to like what it is to be just a warrior and how, Picard was just trying to save his crew's life. And Riker's like, you're so cool, Picard. That's such a dope maneuver. And he's like, I was trying to save my life.
He's like, any competent pilot would have done the same thing. Any competent pilot would have done the same thing. Bring up.
Yeah, and then there was
Number one.
a lot of Ferengi action. A lot of funny Ferengi negotiation.
More tame
Little
Ferengi.
for
More,
sure. Yeah,
more
they dialed it
civil
back.
Ferengi. But
And Riker and first officer interaction too.
yeah, they bond. Riker. Well, you did a great job. I think that's
I
the
think that's pretty
shortest
much,
this
yeah.
segment has ever been. You nailed it.
Nice.
You said Picard got the PTSD device and he fucking took over his old ship.
Oh, do you know?
And there you go.
Oh, this reminds me of another episode that you loved, where it was Kirk and the gang are on a planet and they had just negotiated like some plan or
Oh
some
my
seed,
God,
and they're
and
like,
they're
oh, by
like,
the way,
McCoy, you're under arrest.
You committed to genocides.
You're under arrest for a mass death that happened 10 years ago. He's like,
"Oh,
did I cause a mass death 10 years?
I drank a lot of mint juleps back then."
I remember it. I was sitting on my plantation remembering things differently.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so that was the battle. Good job.
Yes,
Good job.
the battle.
It's been and it's been a couple weeks, not only since we released an episode, but even longer since we recorded. So good job remembering that. I'm not going to ask you who directed it, but it was Rob Bowman. Okay. So that brings us to today's episode, which we do not have this week on Trek in the Valley. So we'll just do that this week on, hold on. Oh. This week on Trek in the Valley, we're talking about episode Hide and Q, which is
Another banger.
It's pretty good. It's very
pretty good.
It's very funny. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's episode 9 of season 1 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. It aired on November 23rd, 1987. It was written by Maurice Hurley and Gene as the showrunner.
It still trips me up that it started in 87.
87, yeah. It was like 5 years before you were born.
No, 8.
8 years before you were born? Oh my God, dude.
Isn't that crazy?
And it was directed
I
by...
associate it with the 90s. That's why I'm like...
Yeah, but it's so 80s when you watch it now, right?
Oh, well, the first couple, and especially the effects too, yeah.
Well, and just their clothes and shit and their
the
hair.
shots.
It's just like the
There's,
most 80s ass What's her name? Oh my God!
Someone called it online. The ship. Someone called it the Disco Enterprise because there's like so many lights on the bridge. It just looks like a lounge.
Oh, on Next Generation?
Yeah.
That's
And I was
interesting.
like, that's kind of funny.
I always thought the Disco Enterprise was the Enterprise from the show Discovery. I thought that's what they referred to as the Disco Enterprise. That's very interesting. And so the synopsis from Paramount Plus is the Enterprise is once again challenged by the dangerous and powerful Q, who after Riker got godlike powers in exchange for who offers Riker
This is the
godlike
description?
powers in exchange for Riker's membership in the Q continuum.
Jeez.
So let me do that again. The Enterprise is once again challenged by the dangerous and powerful Q, who offers Riker godlike powers in exchange for Riker's membership in the Q continuum. It should just say in the Q continuum.
Yeah.
Riker
Then he
says no.
Yeah.
Engage.
And then Q leaves.
And Q is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, right.
And Mike.
Wow.
And then so here we go. Now this episode, as so many, it starts with the Enterprise racing on their way to bring a Federation colony urgent medical help.
Yes.
It really kind of seems like the Enterprise is just like some sort of medicine bus because every episode is like, they're on their way with medicine for somewhere. And Dr. Crusher is doing a look. This is where Aaron Sorkin got it. You know, like Aaron Sorkin got The West Wing from Beverly Crusher doing a walk and talk explaining this shit.
Yeah.
And so she's saying, we need this, get this down transporter room. They're basically getting all this medication ready for this Federation colony. People are going to die, men, women, and children. There's a methane gas explosion seeping from underground, and they're on their way to this planet. And then, there's some sort of
Geordi's
space
like,
net.
there's some kind of force working against us.
Space net. There you go. There's a big old, there's the 3D space net that is used by the Q. And so Picard says, damn it, Q. And because they know what's going to happen. Now, here's what I don't understand. They know that Q has the power to just put everything right after they figure out what he wants. Like, how many, like, granted, they've only dealt with him once, right? But if I was Picard and Q showed up, I'd be like, all right, remember everybody, he's fucking all powerful. It's going to be weird, but then it's like time won't have passed and these Federation colonists are going to be fine. Like, just remember, it's just going to be like a thing we have to do, and then it's going to be fine. But instead, he shows up and they're just like, God damn it, Q, we gotta go. It's like, you could just ask him to help you bring the medicine. like they don't even try that.
It'd be funny if at the beginning he was like, I already transported the medicine with my mind.
Because I wanted to have y'all freed up.
Yep.
But of course, their decision to play his game instead of doing the thing is like part of the whole test.
Well, it just it kills us. There's two moments when this show or this episode kind of kills the suspension, you know? It's the fact that you just brought up, and then the penalty box moment too.
Yeah.
That really took me out, but I liked it.
I think that's okay. Picard can show some tenderness. So,
of course, but I just thought it was right after that moment, the episode got a little crazy.
Fair. So Q appears on the bridge, but it's like a Q that's like he's an orb with snakes and lights. He looks like the first Final Fantasy game. He looks like one of the enemies you'd fight, like one of the bosses. And Picard's like, dude, we're trying to help a badly injured colony, Q. Jesus, just let us go. And he's like, the Q continuum has decided that you must abandon your mission and fucking hang out with us.
Yeah, and then it's a suspense music into the intro.
Into
but what's
the
funny
intro.
is, his form is like a bubble and then 3 red cobras coming out of it.
red cobras, and then there's like huge twinkly lights floating around him.
Yeah, it's kind of like a thinner biblically accurate angel.
Yeah,
with all the arms and legs.
He's like he's like a biblically accurate Q.
Yeah, right. And then they call him out on it too. They're like, "How do we know that's even your form?" And Q's like, "How would you know this is even my form?" And it's like, we just said that.
And then Q turns into Q. Then Q comes out back with an admiral uniform on, and he's like, he was an Alderanian serpent. That's what that was.
Serpent.
You're no Starfleet Admiral Q. Aldebaran serpent. But you accepted me as such. Meh. And Riker is real chummy and laughy in this. I think the Riker's got my attitude. I think in the back of his head, Riker's like, Q's gonna fucking just... This is going to be like a time didn't pass kind of thing, and we'll be fine. And that is a great quote. Riker is like, Q, we can't play your games right now. People are suffering and dying. And Q goes, oh, you humans are always suffering and dying.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's a really
fair.
good. That's a good meta moment, because you were just mentioning how every episode is them always transporting shit too and saving lives, moving colonies and shit instead of just exploring.
And there's a great moment when Q appears on the bridge when Worf jumps over the back control console to get between him and the captain. And basically Picard is like, hey, look, when this rescue mission is complete, I'll do whatever bullshit you want. And Q is like, nuh-uh, that's your own foolish values. You don't distrust me, man. And basically they're doing their penis measuring on the bridge. And I wouldn't want to play that game with Q, because that guy's hanging fucking hog for sure. He's probably got like a 3 snake kind of situation. And so basically Q is like, all right, we're gonna play a game. And it's like, you're gonna play a game again? Oh my god. Oh, and I should pause it and say, they're already doing another Q episode.
I know. It's only 10 episodes into the first season.
In the future, you'll be like, man, we haven't heard from Q in a long time. Because I think they realize they sort of paint themselves into a corner with like a god level being. And so Q says, we're going to play a game. He's got another test for humanity. It's interesting because he said, me and the other Q continuum have been talking about humanity, and it seems like we've got some interest in you. And Q transports the bridge crew sans Picard to a planet with twin moons. I really like this set. The twin moons in the background, the map painting. I think the one thing that the HD remaster did a really good job of is they cleaned up all the green screen shit. Like, you can tell that they really like fixed the edges of
especially for being 87 too.
Oh yeah, it looks great. And I love that Picard is just on the bridge of the Enterprise and nobody can talk to him. He's like, security, hey, hello.
And he's trying to get on the lift.
Yeah, and then he tries to get on the turbo lift, but that's closed. He's basically on a set of the Enterprise.
Yep.
Another kind of meta moment. Then we got Q wearing a Napoleonic era general admiral costume or whatever the fuck. And he's going to basically have a little tete-a-tete, a little meeting of the minds with our number one guy,
So he kind
Riker.
of tries to, I don't know, like seduce him to the dark side, sort of.
Yeah, he conjures up a lemonade, which is the drink that Riker happened to be thinking of.
And Riker's like, oh, this is great. And he's like, hey, wouldn't you like to do that for everyone?
He goes, I was just thinking of an old-fashioned lemonade. What?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Versus what, dog? Like
This
your fucking
lemonade,
space lemonade?
Lemonade dehydrates you too, huh?
Yeah, it's not something you'd want to drink in the desert when you're on a French mission of war. And then he puts a drink in everybody's hand. He's like, this is all the drink that you would want. And Geordi's is green, and he takes a sip. And Data, there's a great moment with Data where he like looks at the drink, and then he's like, I don't drink anything. I'm a robot. I do not need this. And then Worf dagger eyes at Q, and he pours out the clearly blood wine that
That's
he's
pretty
been
badass.
given. Yeah, dude. Fucking very good. And then he smashes the glass, and Q's like, drink not with your enemy, eh? The old rigid Klingon code.
Yeah, and it was just more of him bashing the Klingon race, and just saying, they're old silly traditions.
He called him
why you defeated them, Riker.
He also called him a microbrain. Yeah,
yes, he does call him a microbrain.
He then makes fun of them for losing the Klingon War. Ooh, kicking them when they're down. And so what's the game? Do you remember what the game they decided to do here?
It's just like about living, isn't it? Or like whether it's like not fair because the game isn't fair and that there's going to be, I don't even know. I guess it's just rules that he's making up as he goes along, honestly.
Yeah. So basically,
it just seems like a weird meta thing that he keeps fucking with their heads.
Q is like, this is where we're going to set the rules to the game. Data explains this is like the campaign headquarters of a Napoleonic French army marshal.
Yeah, which outranks an admiral.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Q just keeps complimenting himself and shit.
1 second. And they've got Q says, the game should be imaginative like humans. It shouldn't just be a test of strength, which would be meaningless since you have none. He says, a test of intelligence would be equally meaningless, so I'm such a scamp.
Yeah, he really knocks it out of the park with this, overacting. I like it, though. So, it's reminiscent of Kirk.
Absolutely. And Riker, I like how the spotlight's on Riker, I definitely think that this is a good first Riker episode.
Yeah.
And Worf says, your game's not going to be fair. And Q's like, think imaginatively. The game, in fact, shall be completely unfair. And then here we go. So Tasha Yar says, you've gotten too far, Q. I'm not going to play. Basically, him saying the game. Okay, we got to talk about this for a second.
Yeah, that was a really weird moment. She kind of loses her shit.
I fucking love it because Q says, in fact, the game will be perfectly unfair. Like he's just being like a trickster scamp.
Yeah, it's just so weird.
And she's like, you've gone too far, Q. Unfair. And then he sends her to the penalty box.
Yeah, he was like, she goes, I was going to play the game, but since it's unfair. And she just gets dissolved into the Enterprise.
Yeah, she goes to the penalty box, which is the bridge of the Enterprise, right? And he says if anybody else gets sent to the penalty box, she gets spaced and dead.
Yeah,
and
into
then,
nothingness.
And then she gets replaced. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's only one room in the penalty box.
Yep.
It's weird.
And also Picard is there.
Yeah, it just, again, this is when it's kind of like, oh, what's going on? We're kind of losing grip of
now it's like
how powerful
we haven't
Q
even
is.
They haven't even started the game yet,
What
and
is
somebody's
the game?
already in a penalty box.
Yeah,
we don't even
right?
know what the game is yet. Oh my god. And Picard's just chilling on the bridge. He's about to do a captain's log when he's like, he tries to do a captain's log, and then the computer repeats it, going, captain's log. And then Tasha Yar appears on the bridge behind him. She explains that she's like, it sounds strange, but I'm in a penalty box. And if anyone else does a penalty, I'm going to be gone. She's like, Q's game is strange and I'm going to be gone. And then she starts crying. And Picard is like, uh-oh, I'm going to have to comfort a member of my crew. And you can see his stern face. He's like, Lieutenant Tasha, don't worry. Is this where he says it?
Yeah,
there is a new ship's standing order on the bridge. When one is in the penalty box, tears are permitted.
And it's like, oh.
And she laughs. Oh, Yar. And then Q shows up.
And he's like, why are you telling her to do that? Yeah, don't be such a wimp.
I love how he calls it a star log, not a captain's log. Q then makes his own Q's log.
He's like, star date today.
I like Q. They should
he's
stop.
A great villain.
They should definitely team up with him instead of always being at odds, And in the future, in Picard season 3, Q shows up and he doesn't have his powers. It's great.
Jeez.
And so basically, Q is saying, what I've done is there's a contest down there, and if Riker wins, he's gonna get the power of the Q. And Picard's like, oh, you're going after Riker now. And he knows, he's like, Riker will defeat you just like I did, and then we'll be on our way. And he basically says, so this is what's going to happen. If we win, you get the fuck out of humanity's way. And Q actually hasn't explained that Riker's going to get the powers of the Q. He just said he's going to get some unimaginable power, right?
Yeah, and basically the game is set where it's like, okay, if I trick Riker, he's mine. If I don't, then I'm gone.
Yep, basically.
So, cool.
And then the Q will just wash his hands of the human race, and that's Bob's your uncle. That's the end of it. And then we get a little peek at what's going on the planet with the two suns and the guys, the bridge crew that got beamed down there. They're all just chilling, and they're looking at these French-looking soldiers. And
it's just super random, really reminiscent of the original series.
Right? There's
just
this
let's just put them in a random spot.
A very sparse set.
Yeah, and they had random costumes.
Great costumes. They were like, well, so we've got French Revolutionary War costumes, and we got pig face costumes from that episode of Twilight Zone, Eye of the Beholder.
Do we have any fur?
Do we have a Starfleet Admiral outfit? And then we get back on the ship. Q is in Picard's ready room. They go back and forth talking about fucking Shakespeare like you do. And they trade Shakespeare quotes. And I like the one thing that Picard says where he goes, Shakespeare may have been saying it ironically, but I say this. And it's like, well, you shouldn't use something that was said ironically.
Yeah.
How noble is reason, how infinite in faculty, in form, in moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. I love that.
Yeah.
And so basically Q and Picard are going at it. Q pops back down to the planet, and then they've got to fight Riker, and these guys have to fight some pigmen soldiers.
Yeah, and Q responds though to Picard's Shakespeare soliloquy. He's basically just like, why do you really think of yourselves as that?
You think humans are like gods, but I'm like gods.
That's a little silly.
You're not like us.
They're not like us.
So Worf actually went and did some reconnaissance and found out that they're wearing old Earth uniforms, but they're not human. And then they start getting shot at by the guys are using muskets, right?
Yeah.
But they shoot like lasers.
Yeah.
Laser muskets.
Data's like, this is kind of a waste of time. I mean, they can't shoot no longer than 100 yards.
And then blast!
Bam!
Laser musket. And then we get this very creepy moment where Q takes over Data's body, and it's like John Delancey styled as Data with like the gold eyes and shit.
That must have taken forever.
Yeah, it's also incredibly unsettling. I do not like it at all.
I give you the power.
Yep. And this is where this is the twist. Q says, look, Riker, if you want to make those pigmen disappear, you can just do it, dude, because you have the power of the Q. And then Data comes back, and then Riker snaps his fingers.
And he's like, I could just beam everybody? And he's like, yeah, you just fucking will it, dude.
Yeah, he holds up the back of his hand like he's going to pimp slap somebody. Like he's going to give you the back of his hand, and then everybody beams back up.
Because did I even need my hand, honestly?
If I was him, as soon as I had the Thanos power of the Q, I would kill Q. I would just immediately be like, you're done. Like, oh, I have the power of the Q now. You're done. And then all of the bridge crew appears back on the bridge because Riker popped him back up there. Geordi gives Picard the rundown. He's like, we were fighting these pigmen, and it's really weird. Maybe Data can explain it better. And Data's like, it's actually kind of gross. I'll just put it in my report.
And Picard's like, Data. Right. And Yar's like, look, that's not important right now. What's important right now is where the hell is Riker?
Yeah.
And then Picard explains what's going on. He's like, well, I'm sure Riker's fine, at least physically. And everybody's like, why? And he goes, well, I mean, honestly, the Q kind of has a hard-on for Riker.
Q's got his dick set on Riker.
Ever since, Farpoint, and they've interacted with each other. It's just always been weird.
Yeah.
Kind of like going back and forth a little too much.
And did they just say
he
that...
wants to, tempt him.
Did he explain that... Nobody explains that that Riker is actually the one that beamed them back up there, right?
No, they don't know. Like, they just don't know why he's interested in Riker.
And Riker is just laughing it up on the planet. He's like, oh, I got absolute power, and it's fucking hilarious. Riker tells Q that he's a fucking joke. Q is saying you should be grateful, and basically Riker is this is a kind of a more of a in screenwriting class. This was a seduction scene, right?
Yeah.
Like he's basically saying, look, Q says you gotta understand, Riker, the power of the Q is just it. Like, you fucking do whatever you want, right?
You don't have to eat. You don't have to sleep. You just
do whatever, dog. You want to create, you want to change forge humanity in whatever image you want. You could definitely do that. And Riker is, what does Riker say? He says, you want something from us. That's important. And Q is just laughing. He's like, we wouldn't want anything from you, you fucking dipshit. You're just like Picard, who thinks you want something. And he goes, now that's a compliment, Q. I fucking love Picard. I'd smooch him on his little bald head if it made him sleep better at night.
But he goes, but that's not an answer.
Yep. Oh, and I do like that Q, we should mention, he's wearing a copy of Riker's uniform. Mm-hmm. And this is where Q lays it down. He says, look, after Farpoint, I went to the Q continuum, which is the limitless dimensions in which we exist between all galaxies. And you'll never understand it until you become one of us. And so the Q is basically wants to, or I don't know if the actual Q continuum wants this or if it's just this Q.
No, it's a bit of both. I don't know. I think it's more them gauging the human's reaction.
Yeah, they want to see
newfound power.
Because they basically, Q wants to give Riker the power of the Q and then have Riker just be an asshole and fuck up. You know, like, that's the plan. He wants to trick Riker into shooting himself in the foot, right?
Yeah.
And Riker says, we've got the human compulsion to explore. He's like, we've advanced so far. We can get better. And he's like, that's why you were selected, so that you can bring to us this human need and hunger that we may better understand it.
Yeah, they since they're gods and deities, though, they don't understand human ambition.
Yeah.
You know, they don't understand, like, motivation or, like, what else is to... what to look forward to, because once you've completed it all, it's like, what is time? What is space?
Right?
You're just like, you've done everything.
Dog.
Yeah. It's giving Dr. Manhattan vibes, you know, where he's just like,
it reminds me,
so bored.
It reminds me of that Rick and Morty where they're on the ship traveling between galaxies and they're not in their pods. So it like becomes this really trippy thing. And at one point, Rick's face just floats through going, I've got shit on my ass. Like, it's one of the funniest things that's ever... Like, that guy was a terrible abuser, but that was fucking funny line read. And so now everybody's beamed down to the planet, Picard included, and also Wesley Crusher. And the pigmen are marching their way. They don't have any phasers. And this is a brutal slaying of all the members of the cast.
Yeah, this feels like a dream, nightmare kind of
Worf tries to fight the soldiers. He gets gut stabbed by a bayonet.
Oh, seeing Wesley get stabbed, though.
Wesley gets run through by a bayonet. And that I like.
Yeah,
like, I'm okay with that,
his reaction is so, like, I don't know, his reaction seems like, oh, I burnt my hand on the stove or I stubbed my toe, instead of like, holy shit,
while he's holding a bayonet coming through his tummy because he got stuck back to front.
He just goes, and
it looks like a big letter.
Oh, Jesus.
It looked like a big letter opener.
Yeah, just sticking out of him.
And so what's Q trying to do here, Al?
Q's just basically throwing them into the shit, so Riker just says fuck it and saves their lives, basically.
He's tempting him to use the Q power.
Yeah,
right?
and so what happens is right after they see
Wesley stabbed.
Yeah, it's just so weird, though. It's all so slow. It just feels like a dream, you know? They're just like, Wesley, no, Wesley. And then he gets stabbed. And so then Riker just gives up and he goes, damn it all to hell. Or he goes, the hell with it. and he throws his arms up like
and he makes a Q net in front of the pig face guys.
He's throwing his arm up though so strangely.
Yeah, that's how he does it. That's his casting. He's casting, right?
And Picard's like, well, you did that.
Yep.
Riker's like, that's not all.
And then Riker beams them all back up to the ship.
And everything's okay. And he's Riker's standing there like he's goddamn Shazam.
And this is it.
So funny.
Riker has officially been tempted by the Q at this point.
Yep.
And Picard, well, maybe not yet, right? So Picard and Riker are in his ready room, and Picard's like, I don't even know how I can fucking advise you. You got godlike power.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what's going on here.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. No one's ever offered to turn me into a god before, so I don't know what you're supposed to do.
This isn't in the Starfleet manual.
I think that if I got the Q powers, I would be good at it. I think that Riker was kind of a dummy about it. Like, I wouldn't give people like, you don't make Wesley old, right?
That was
you
so
make
weird.
You make it so that murder doesn't exist anymore or something, you know? Like, you don't he was thinking too small, right?
Yeah.
And this is what it comes down to. And Riker is so wrong
Riker's
here.
a kid, that's why. Riker's still kind of a little dumb. Yeah. He's not quite the Captain Riker that we know and love at the end.
Yeah, he's not the captain of the Titan in Lower Decks yet.
But he's not like quite there yet, you know.
So this is the heart of the whole episode, okay? And Picard just lays it out. He says, are you strong enough to resist the godly power that Q has offered you? And Riker, without thinking, says, oh, certainly. Yeah. And he's like, no matter how tempted. And he goes, yeah, absolutely. Nothing could possibly tempt me. And Picard's like, are you sure? And he's like, there's no circumstance anybody could cook up that would tempt me to use the power of the Q. I promise.
Somebody died or something.
But what if Picard goes, what if there's a dead kid?
Yeah, right.
Picard's like, so Riker, what if there's a dead kid? Would you be able to resist using your power? So now they're on Sigma 3.
Wesley back.
so now they're on Sigma 3, right? Oh yeah, Picard made Riker swear to never use the power.
Yeah, he was like, that's a little fucked up. You can't fuck with fate like that. Maybe Worf and Wesley meant to die in that moment, but still.
But I would say that's part of a Q game, Picard. Right? Shut up. And this is when they get down to Sigma 3.
It's freaky, you know?
They beam down to Sigma 3, and Riker's with the away team, and the Federation colonists are all fucked up after the earthquakes or viruses or whatever the hell they've had going on. It was like a big natural disaster, I think.
Yeah, it was the earthquake underground, remember? The gases were seeping.
Oh, the gases. That's right.
The gases be gassing.
And so Crusher's helping them. There's a great sequence of Data just chucking rocks. Yeah. Because there's like somebody who's under these rocks, right?
You know what would have been better? It was just sped up footage of just him being like
like when he does the the Data chips.
Oh, the chips. Yeah, that's right.
And so Data finds a dead kid.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's just all tragic and Data
it's very sad.
Beverly Crusher's just like, oh my God.
And then
this is awful. If we were only here 30 minutes earlier.
This is what I fucking love about this sequence, right? Because Riker, so presumably Data, because Picard explained that Q wants something from Riker, right? And so Crusher is like, this kid is dead. If only been here a half hour sooner, like you said. And then Data goes, hey, Riker, why don't you just use your Q powers and bring this kid back to life? It's like, right in front of the kid's parents.
Yeah, seriously.
Right in front of the kid's parents. Hey, Riker, why don't you just resurrect this kid with your magical powers? I mean, what would stop you from doing that? And Crusher's like, wait, what
are you fucking saying?
I don't understand. If you can help her, you must. And Riker goes, I can't. I'm prevented from that by a promise. That's what I'm going to tell anybody. Like, the next time somebody asks me to do something I don't want to do, I'm going to be like, I can't. I'm prevented from doing that by a promise.
Yeah.
And so back on the ship, Riker gets all up in Picard's face because now Riker's been faced with the real decision. He's like, I saw what it was like to not use my powers. And I'll tell you what, fucking sucks shit. I'm going to use some powers. And then this is the big shift. Now he's referring to Captain Picard as Jean-Luc. And so there we go. Picard says, you're going to grow to like it too much.
Oh, no. He still calls him captain at this point. But the first sign of disrespect is he leaves. He leaves when he's mid-speech.
Yeah, so he didn't call him Jean-Luc yet? Yeah, you're right. So basically, Riker says, I shouldn't have made that deal with you.
No, and that's what he demands. He he interrupts him and demands he goes, I want a meeting with the bridge staff and the crew immediately.
What he says is, like, I want a meeting with your bridge crew.
Staff. Ooh, that's right, he does. And then Picard's like, look, I'm sure we can figure something out, and da-da-da-da. And like, as he's talking, Riker just leaves.
Riker just bounces.
Like, he's being a dick.
And here we go. This is where it all unfolds for Riker. Picard is like, they got all the bridge crew up there, and Picard's like, all right, Riker, show us what you're going to do as a cue.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, Jean-Luc.
All right, so basically, Riker is going to grant everybody their wish.
Yeah, it was a little sloppy.
I didn't
execution.
I didn't like it.
For being a Q, he should have thought that through.
You get a hot Klingon lady's butt jiggling a little bit when she gets thrown on the ground. That's one good thing about this sequence. But other than that, it's pretty lame. Because basically Riker says, I'm just like everyone else still. I'm the same William T. Riker you've always known. I just have the powers of some sort of god.
And Beverly crosses her arms and she's like, yeah,
she is so over his fucking shit, dude. And because she called him out on his bullshit when they first met too, remember? And so basically if Picard says power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so Riker says, oh, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. You don't think I thought about that, Jean-Luc?
Yeah.
Huh? You don't think I thought about absolute power corrupts absolutely? With my Q brain, motherfucker?
And he's like, yeah, but just in that arrogance, you know, you kind of seem like a dick. And why are you calling me, you know, why are we on a first name basis now?
You're my number one, bitch. And he's saying something. Like, Picard says something's happened already, Riker. You've changed.
Creepy god vibes. Creepy god vibes.
Creepy god vibes. So here we go.
Vibes.
Let's get to. So Q shows up. He's dressed like a monk.
Yeah.
And this is where Picard refers to Q as a flim flam man. Q accuses Picard of being jealous of Riker. And this is where Q is like, Picard, why are you making Riker beg to let you give wishes to your bridge crew? Like, don't you want people to have wishes? And this Picard is like, you know what? All right, do your thing. Do your thing. You know what? He goes, do your thing. Because he knows what's going to happen.
Of course.
And Data's like, are you certain that you want to let them do this? And he goes, by all means, demonstrate your gifts of affection, William T. Riker. And the first thing that he does is he makes Wesley an adult.
He's like, yeah, I know what you want, Wesley. Bing.
And Wesley looks like a human Launchpad McQuack from DuckTales, right?
Just a fucking absolute unit, though.
And so he's an adult. And then he says...
that's a really good comparison, Adam.
Yeah, he looks just like Launchpad McQuack. It's fucking unreal. That's who they based Launchpad on. They were watching... because this was around the same time before DuckTales came out. So they saw that actor. And
they're like, oh, perfect.
And then what does Riker offer to do for Data?
He's like, I know what you want, Data. And Data's like, no, please. My penis is already large. I'm just kidding. No, he's saying, I don't really want that.
It's like, you haven't explained what it is, though. What's Riker going to give him? Yeah,
to be human, of course.
Yes,
but Data's like, I just don't really want that though, because he says I don't want the illusion to mix up with the reality of things, and he's basically saying I don't want to be teased. Like, not to say that he wants to do it as a surefire thing, but it's like, oh, he refers to what is it called? Some philosopher, but it's like, I am who I am, like that's the absolute truth or something like that. Says, living in your absolute truth is being yourself or some silly shit like that.
Well, he says,
Picard's like, all right.
Yeah, Data says it wouldn't feel right.
It just feels weird.
And then he gives Geordi his sight. Geordi takes off the visor. He's got regular looking eyes, dude. And he's blown away by looking out at the planets outside. And then he says, Tasha, you're just as beautiful as I imagined. Whoa. whoa.
Ooh.
Do you have to the first thing you do when you get your fucking site is sexual harassment? Like the very first thing you do when you can see is a lady that you've never touched romantically,
hot,
as far as we
dude.
know. Like, holy shit! Now that I can see Tasha, oh my god, kick my ass, step on my balls, Tasha.
Oy vey.
And it's funny because he knew what she looked like because he has the daredevil vision, you know? And then he says, I want my visor back. The price is a little too high. Make me back the way I was, Riker. So far, that's 2 that have turned down the gifts. And we got Launchpad McQuack-ass fucking Wesley over there.
Yeah, and Riker goes,
What's
Worf,
next?
I know exactly what you want. You complained about it at that one planet and wouldn't shut up about it. So here you go. And it's this Klingon lady.
It's a hot Klingon lady with shredder armor from Ninja Turtles.
And they start fighting and, like, you know, fucking getting it on. Or
that is Klingon sex.
You know?
They fight. That's part of it. They fight each other. I like how Tasha responds. She's like, puts her arm up. And then fucking
Worf just levels her.
Worf just slaps that lady and she falls over. And watch this. Her butt. It's like such a weird shot. Watch. Oh. Fucking, they kept it on her too long. Weird. Her butt jiggles far after she is stationary with the rest of her body. And Geordi says, Worf, is this your idea of sex? And he goes, this is sex. This is sex.
And he's like, but I have no place for it in my life now.
I'm celibate.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, okay, that'll be something else we'll talk about, Worf.
Yeah, and then he's
like, I want to earn this.
Q calls Worf a microbrain. And then Wesley says,
like,
you gotta make me young again.
Yeah, and I love that line, though, when Wesley does go, well, I kind of want to get there on my own.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, I feel ya. He's like, this feels kind of like cheating.
It is weird to see Wesley as an adult dressed in his little kid
it's
clothes.
Just bigger, the clothes.
And also, he never got to Tasha. Tasha was just kind of watching
like,
everybody
okay,
get
fuck me, I guess.
Was my wish Geordi sexually harassing me?
Yeah, right.
And so then...
I mean, I'm sure he knew she'd say no, but still, I don't know.
So then Q has been defeated, right? All of the wishes get unwished. Everybody's back to their original spots.
Repurposed, yes.
I like how it just moves. It just moved Data over a little bit.
A little unnecessary, but hey.
Yeah, and then Riker's like, "Oh no, oh no, here we fucking go, right? Here it is." And Riker's like, "How did you know that I would?" That I would fuck that up. Wait, did we skip that part already?
Yeah, I think Data was like, how'd you know that this would all happen?
Right? So, because Picard called it. Like,
sure.
he knew that he was going to give Riker enough rope to hang himself. That was always the plan. And we missed it. I fast forwarded through it. I liked Riker's little thing where he looked at Picard and he was like, God damn, man. You really fucking figured it out. How did you know? Let's see here. Failed to tempt. Oh, here we go. I found it. So it's before the wishes are unwished. Riker looks at Picard and he's like, hey, I do like that Wesley's mom is all like, ooh, I'm so happy that he chose that he wanted to become an adult on his own. And then Riker and Picard have their heart-to-heart where that I keep skipping over. Riker says, I feel like such an idiot. Thank you, fans. That whole thing was me trying to get Riker to say, I feel like such an idiot. And Picard says, as you should. And then he stands up and he reads Q the Riot Act. And then Q gets in trouble with the Q continuum. They're like, Q, you have to come home. You're in trouble now.
And Q's begging, screaming at the ceiling like, hey, wait, I got one more trick.
One more thing. Let me do one more thing. And so basically we're finding out Picard's last line is he goes, his last line of the main story is, I guess we're finding out that time and space are simpler than the human equation.
Ooh.
Yep, and then they've already done their rescue mission, so there's no actual place to go. Riker's like, Geordi, you got my fucking coordinates. Let's bounce. And then
Engage.
hey, and that was hide and Q, right?
Yes.
So what'd you think?
I don't know, man. That whole game part was really confusing. Didn't need that middle part, but I did like the whole like mentality of, hey, what if I can tempt Riker and then have him get the Q powers?
Riker was a good guy to pick.
Funner, oh, for sure. And it would have been, I feel, a little more fleshed out had it not been that bullshit, weird game meta thing of like, it was funny though how he broke the meta of the show and been like, okay, you humans are always dying, like it doesn't really matter where you're going, you're always in danger.
I do think that it was a very oddly structured episode because it's like they're on their way to the thing, Q shows up, they do the first part of the game,
it's like two ideas that clash.
He gives Riker the power, and then they do the second part of the game where people get stabbed, and
but it's like not a game,
and then they do the rescue mission.
Yeah,
wild.
Yeah, then it's not really a game. I don't know. It's just like people getting tortured. It's like Saw. It's like, you know, even if you win, you lose an arm. It's like, what is that? You know, is that really victory? But anyways, definitely the best parts were just obviously between Q and Riker and Q and Picard. Q is just a phenomenal actor. What's his name? The guy
John Delancey.
John Delancey just is a powerhouse. And he pretty much carries these episodes, as he should.
Yeah, he's great.
But the other fun part, too, was just, honestly, I liked the end the most. It gave the most Gene Roddenberry vibes.
I liked the end.
Like, hey, I just don't want this. It's super simple. Like, even if we have all these access, it just doesn't feel, one, earned, doesn't feel better, and... you know, it doesn't, that's, I guess, them trying to figure out what causes motivation. Maybe the Q continuum was like, fuck, I'm pissed, you know, we want a human anyways, just to make us better. And the Q was like, no, and he dissolves away. But I can't help but think, does somebody leave with him, a woman, in the end of Next Gen, or is it during Deep Space Nine?
Oh my god, I can't remember.
But I kept thinking of her. I was like, there's totally somebody that's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. The time continuum, yeah, who cares? And I remember the main character being like, hey, but lady, like, don't you care about your humanity and life and da-da-da-da-da? And she's like,
not.
Yeah, she's like, I'm a fucking orphan. Peace.
I'm a god. Like,
she's
no.
like, what do you mean?
I am going to...
What? I almost just died this episode.
The drugs that I am going to create out of thin air.
Q's like, we party all the time.
It's just, dude, right?
It's like pure chaos. I think it's Deep Space Nine, because I feel like they introduced Q for a little bit there.
They definitely do.
But I don't know. But it was just so insane of like, it's weird because Picard's just more formal. This whole setting is more formal of like, he has to be on the Enterprise and do the right thing. And it's like, I think Picard was a little surprised that Riker didn't come to the conclusion that much sooner. And that he was like, okay, you're calling me Jean-Luc. Like, this has gone a little too far.
He even tried to...
He goes, fuck it, just give him the gifts, right? Like, I like how you brought that point up, too. Because he really just threw his hands in the air and was like, all right, let's see how far he gets. And yeah, it was nice to see everybody reject it. That was the nice, heartwarming moment that I feel kind of... put the episode in a nice bow tie of like ambition, of like motivation and earning things. And the fact that, I don't know, Q just seems a lot less threatening in this episode than the first time.
Yeah, dude.
There's like more we know about him, and
plus,
the time continuum doesn't seem to like him anyways.
We know that he can just set everything back, so it's fine.
That's what's weird too.
Low stakes.
That would be funny too if Q was just like, look, I already transported the medical drugs, like they're fine. That gas, whatever, forget about it. It doesn't even exist.
So
But what did you think of the episode?
There's a couple things that we didn't hit that I really like. There's a moment when Worf jumps in the way of one of the pigmen, and Geordi goes, Worf, you came out of nowhere. And Worf says, a warrior's reaction. It's fucking hilarious, dude.
It's they take one of the muskets because they beat up one of the guys, and Data's like, this is just a regular musket, it shouldn't shoot more than 100 yards with any accuracy. And Riker's like, all right, fuck it, let's try it. And he shoots a laser and an explosion happens. And then Worf hops out and he's like, "Drop your weapon!"
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
Worf, you came out of nowhere.
Yeah, George's like, "Damn, all
I
right,
love
that's
it.
cool."
And I like
Worf
that.
was pretty funny this episode, I'll have to say.
I like that basically Q. Q is saying that the Q continuum is basically the Borg. Like what they're trying to do is they want to assimilate Riker's distinctiveness into the collective of the Q, basically.
Just to see how to pass God status. I don't know.
What do they do?
It's like, what's after?
Riker promises not to use his power, and to his credit, he doesn't. But then he's gonna.
Yeah.
I like when Captain Picard calls Q a flim-flam man, and Data's like, flim-flam? And then I do enjoy Picard's turn in the last act where he's like, fine, I authorize and support your idea, Riker, because he's just given him enough rope to hang himself, and it worked. It was very good.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was Worf that was like, flim-flam.
Oh, yeah.
And Yar's like,
good memory.
He was like flip shot, flip snap, snip snap. I always think of that office thing.
My brain fog is fucking killing me. It's 1,000 degrees back here.
Yeah, we're cooking.
So,
literally.
What do you, how many three-headed snake orbs
there we go.
out of 5 would you give this episode?
That was definitely the most unique part of the episode. I would say I really like the ending was like a 5, but then the beginning was like a 3. Maybe a 2.5. Like I really didn't like it. It felt like a slog. So I'm gonna be in the middle of like maybe 3.5.
I'm gonna say 3.5 as well.
It's a solid episode, but both Q and the crew could do better.
There's
it just
good
felt like
Worf
such
jokes, good Data jokes. It's a fun, light episode,
but
it doesn't.
Light.
It doesn't hit that 4+. And like I said, because I know Q can just make everything right, there's no fucking stakes.
Yeah, and also too is right before we started recording, I was just like, Adam, is there a B plot? Like, is there anything else going on other than Q? And he's like, oh, I mean, you're like, well, they're saving people's lives.
Yeah,
and
they're
I was
doing
like,
the thing.
That's true. But I mean, the only part I remember was that the dead baby part or the dead child. And Beverly's like, oh my God, if only there was someone who had weird
God
fucking powers that could save this poor child's life. Look at it. Look, oh my God, is she alive? Oh, she died again.
Only
She just died again in my arms. Jesus Christ.
I like how, it's Data.
Data
like, who's like, Riker, can't you just snap your fingers?
Try something.
Can't you just throw your arm up like you're bowling?
I can't. I made a promise.
But yeah, so that's our chat about Hyde and Q. Thank you for listening to that. We've got time for one last segment.
Captain, Adam and Al are recommending things. I repeat, Adam and Al are recommending things.
All right, let's see. Actually, now that it's end of summer, I don't know. My girl and I, she's been watching a binge of a lot of murdered like documentaries and shit, and then I was like, well, why don't we watch something that's a bit of both? That's something that I like too, and we just watched The Wire. We started watching it again.
So you've seen it before?
Running it back. Yeah, I've seen it before, but I recommend
Have
everybody
you recommended The Wire on this show before,
at
like
the
years
very
ago?
Beginning, because I was watching it, and it's just it's really that good.
I've never finished it.
Really?
I haven't seen the last season.
You need to finish it. Well, actually, here, why don't we, once I get to the ending, I'll just watch it with you.
Yeah, we should do, let me know when you get to season 5.
Okay.
Or whatever the last season is, because I'll watch the last part of the season before that and then get into it, because I really want to finish it, but it's just...
All the seasons are kind of different, though.
They also just did it. They did a 4K remaster of that show.
Oh, shit, really?
Nice, or maybe it was HD. I don't know, because it might have been before 4K happened. But so you're recommending The Wire, one of the great television programs of all time. I actually, I think that the guy who created that show yelled at me about stuff on Bluesky. It was just in a comment thread or arguing about fucking Gaza or whatever. He's a lib. He's a dumb lib. So now. I am going to recommend the band King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. They're on tour right now with their new album Phantom Island. So I recommend the album Phantom Island, which I wasn't sold on at first, but now I very much like it. And they're on tour playing with like symphonies in each city that they're with. So they do the album Phantom Island that has a symphony on it. So those songs have orchestral parts already. And then they do a set of like 6 classic King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard songs that they've added an orchestra to them.
Jeez.
Like when Metallica did S&M or whatever, and it's fucking great. And the reason what I'm really recommending is King Gizzard streams all of their shows, because when you go to a King Gizzard concert, they've got a bunch of HD cameras and they got screens that they're playing with the camera, see, right? Well, what you see on those screens is live streamed. So
shit.
you can either watch it as a live stream while it happens, or you can watch it after the fact. Somebody else posts them. Sometimes the audio kind of sucks because it's just like a rip from the board.
Yeah.
And sometimes the audio stream is not great, but it's fucking worth just watching it on the couch, like a couch concert. And they're playing at Hollywood Bowl this Sunday, the day this comes out. So if you listen to this on the day,
cool.
you could watch the King Gizzard show live stream from Hollywood Bowl, or watch it in the future. We're not going. Because I don't want to get COVID again before I have to travel at the end of the month.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it. So listen to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Phantom Island, watch The Wire.
Yes, watch it again.
And thank you so much for coming out. Come back next week.
Thank you.
129. Trek in the Valley is brought to you by Adam Ordall-Quinnell and Al Hirt. The theme was produced by Al. The episodes are engineered by Adam. You can email the podcast at trekinthevalley@gmail.com, or you can search for us on Bluesky and Facebook as Trek in the Valley and follow us over there. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you do on your podcast apps. It really helps us out. And never forget, always explore strange new fucking worlds.